Altevrse Season 1 Action.
Wait. I need a countdown.
Altevrse Season 1 in 3, 2, 1 Action.
Altevrse Episode 1 Success. You get me?
You wanna hear the song from above?
Charles in the hat.
Hey, welcome to the MTV Cribs. We about to go outside and I'm about to show you.
Yo, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Altevrse. And today we have a very special guest, Miss Sixsaidit herself.
Thank you.
How you feeling today?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling excited about this podcast, to be
Yeah.
honest. I'm actually really excited to be here.
You look fresh, you look fly. You got your little colors on, I see a little bit of everywhere that you're from. A dash of it on you.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that. Just a little, like a little piece from here, a little piece from here.
Yeah.
A little piece from there. But I want to jump right in and say something that's crazy about you is your lyrics. Like, how does your mind even come there? Like, how do you even get there?
It's funny because usually it starts off with like a line.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll think of a line and then I'll think of okay, how many ways can I make this mean other things? So because Frank Ocean is probably one of my favorite writers, and when you listen to a Frank Ocean song, it's never direct. Growing up in high school and listening to his music, I never really knew what he was talking about, but then I loved that after listening over and over and over again, you would find a new meaning in what he was saying. Same thing with Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be able to do that with my music. So every time I would come up with a line, I might just mean that one thing the first time, but then I try to figure out how to have other meanings and have other ways to say things at the same time.
So that's funny. My English teacher, I remember in 10th grade, she said something that stuck with me ever since. She said, show, don't tell. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that's kind of the realm that you're stepping in. You're I'm going to paint the picture. I'm not just going to tell you straight up.
Yeah.
That's fire. That's
Thank
super
you.
fire. And I find it also interesting. So this, but some of your lyrics are crazy, girl. Some of your lyrics are insane.
I'm crying.
And what's crazy to me is that I'm a man, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm listening to this and I'm like, should I be bobbing my head to this? Why is this? Why am I enjoying this? How do you have that ability? Because I feel like you transcend, I don't know, you just transcend that gender role.
Yeah. I mean, okay, someone on Instagram perfectly described me. They said that there's some sort of softness in my voice, a soft confidence. And I think that's just what it is. I think that anybody, no matter what gender you are, you can kind of relate to that soft confidence. It's oh, she's talking her shit. Regardless of what I'm saying, it's oh, she's talking her shit. Or oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of where I lean more into.
Yeah.
Anytime I'm writing, no matter what the subject matter is, I'm just trying to find a way. I just want respect. If I'm gonna be really real, a lot of a lot of my inspiration or a lot of my why is wanting to gain respect from people, wanting to be the best or wanting to be known as the best, and so whenever I'm writing, it's I can't limit myself to only one space or one group of people. If I want everyone to look at me and be yo, she's the hardest rapper ever, not female rapper, not I don't know, African rapper, hardest rapper, period. I'm gonna have to figure out how to tell my story and make it relatable to everyone, or for everyone to have a piece of it. So that's why I try, even though, I said, the subject matter doesn't matter to me. There's just a way that I want to be able to deliver what I'm saying that everyone can feel it. Because for example, there might be a bar, this bar you might understand this bar, but you might not understand the next bar because it's not meant for you. But overall, it's gonna, because you understood the first bar, you're gonna want to go find out about,
like, what's she saying?
What is she? You know what I mean?
She really mean?
You're like,
and then you're like, damn.
Exactly.
Six said it. You know what I'm saying? Like, dang, like she said it. She really said it.
No, but that's the whole point. Like, I want everyone to. I told my manager when we first started working together, I told him that, like, my goal is, like, for you to walk anywhere in the world, any scenario, whether it's like you're shopping in H&M or you're like in a random bar in Mykonos or in the hoodest of hoods, you know, at a house party, that at least one Six song is playing. And yeah, so that's kind of like how
I've noticed that too. You have a lot of range.
Thank you.
Like within your music, like sometimes it's hard, like super hard, but sometimes it feels like kind of like in the air, type of spacey.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you're giving me like a little pop star type of vibe, you know,
sure.
like the rap pop star.
Yeah.
I was like, this girl has, you
it's
know,
all about
she has versatility.
Yeah.
But that makes me think, actually, because when I was saying Sixsaidit, where did that name even come from? Like what is that to you? Yeah,
so Six is like what I go by primarily. And that was actually supposed to be, was my rap name in the beginning, but it was just so common, a lot of people couldn't find it. But the original reason why I named myself Six is because it's a number that's like always occurring in my life. It's kind of like my angel number in a sense. Like my birthday, my grandmother's birthday, my mom's birthday, they all have sixes in it. And God made woman on the sixth day. So, and then of course I was also part of a sorority and I was number 6 on my line. So 6 has just always kind of been like a part of my identity in a way. As far as Sixsaidit, when it came time to like make an Instagram name for myself as an artist, I actually wanted it to be like Six Says, like Simon Says. But then it wasn't available. So I was like, okay, well, Sixsaidit. And then it just kind of like went, if that makes sense. Like I was like, you know, it's unique enough and it's unique and interesting enough, but also like plain enough for people to be able to remember it. But mostly a lot of people just call me Six.
You know what's interesting about that? I feel like when you're on your path and like your direction, life has a way of showing you these things.
100%.
And it's up to you to pay attention and to think like, oh, this is going to represent me here. This is going to represent me here. Because, I mean, even in my own journey, like way back in the day, by the way, this is not as in-depth as yours. But way back in the day, I was trying to decide my name, right? And my dad, my license plate, it said YP. And my dad was like, hey, young player. And I was like, I kind of like that. So I used to go by Nevaeh way back in the day.
Really?
So I was trying to come up with the Instagram handle, Twitter handle, and I was like, young player Nevaeh. And it was just like, but I feel like you have to listen, you know, because life will just show you like, and obviously that was an era, you know, it came and went, but for that era, it was like, this is what it is.
Yeah.
But it took like paying attention, like you paying attention, this number 6 is coming up in my life, you know, it's here.
Yeah.
Maybe this is, and now like, this is what we know you as. Like, this is who you are.
Yeah,
you know?
for
So
sure.
I think that's really, really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think it's dope, your ability to recognize that and to put
that
that in your art.
100%. I think in the Kanye West documentary, Cootie, I think his name is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
the cameraman.
The cameraman.
Yep.
And something that really resonated with me from that documentary is that he thought he was supposed to be a stand-up comedian. Like, he thought that was like his destiny and his journey. But then obviously he picked up the camera and he had been documenting and following Kanye's journey. And then he became what do you call it? A documentarist or? Yeah, anywho. There you go. And and so he was like, he never thought that was gonna be his life, but then he looked back. I think his father had passed away. And then he realized that his father had actually put a camera in his hand from like young.
Wow.
And that his father had always been like recording things. And he had always been recording things growing up, like memories and like, you know. And he said in the movie that it's crazy how the thing that you are destined to be has always been there. Like the signs have always been there. You think it just came out of nowhere, but it's always been there. Like for me, I realized that I thought that rap just popped out of nowhere in 2019. Like basically the City Girls came out. I was obsessed with the City Girls. I was obsessed with the City Girls and Cardi B. And I was like, I did like a little karaoke thing. I performed at this karaoke, and like from there I was like, I want to be on stage. Like that's all I wanted to do, and that's how I started like pursuing rap, right? And then when people would ask me like, this is so random, like where did this come from? I'm like, I don't know. Like I just started 2020. Like that's when I started rapping. I just picked up one day. But then I started thinking to myself, I'm like, actually, no, that's not true. Like in elementary school, I was published in like my poetry used to be published in books. I started rapping because my mom's two brothers are rappers when I was much younger.
Wow.
So I used to like pretend to make music videos with their little VHS camera when I was like 5. I used to write raps when I was in middle school and in high school, just like fun raps that nobody really ever saw, or sometimes I'll post them on Facebook. And then in middle school, I had a whole like Sesame Street rap group.
So you
all of these things, I was like, these are things that like, yeah, but like
practicing.
You would never like, but when I think about my journey, I don't think about those things, or I didn't think about those things, and I didn't see them as like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Like, you know, it's so crazy how like these passing like interests or whatever it is that you go through, or these experiences that you have with other people could actually be like, end up being your passion if you allow yourself to kind of like feel that happiness and joy and energy that you feel when you're experiencing those things. Yeah. But no, I was after watching that movie, you know what I mean?
Some snaps.
Thank you.
I need a
It's so true though, because even because I recently started seeing a therapist as well, and in our conversations, I was going through like an existential life crisis. I was like trying to figure out like, what am I? Who am I? Like, what am I doing? What's my purpose? And she kind of just brought me back down and said like, focus on the energy you feel when you're doing the things that you love to do the most. Or like not even what you love to do the most, just like focus on the energy you feel whenever you're doing something, or whenever you're wearing something, or whenever you're speaking with certain people. Like what positive energy do you feel, and when do you feel that positive energy, and pour more into those spaces and those things. Yeah. And I feel like if I had her tell me that when I was much younger, I probably would have started rapping a lot earlier, for sure, or I would have taken it more serious.
Wow. Yeah, that's actually super interesting that you say that, because I was listening to, I forgot where I heard it, but it was so simple, but it hit me right here.
Yeah.
And he was like, it was like, don't just go, what did he say? How did he word it? Oh my goodness, it was so amazing. It was like, don't go where you're fighting to fit in. You know what I'm saying? Don't go where your energy, where you're fighting to have your energy fit in.
Yeah.
Just go where your energy is already appreciated.
Exactly.
Because there's places that your energy is already appreciated.
Exactly.
You know? But I think a part of the journey of being a human is going through those stages where you care so much about this, until you're like, I'm me, actually.
Yeah. And you have to go through that in order for you to find it.
Me.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow. But I wanted to find out, because this actually, I've wondered this since I've met you. When I listen to your music, I hear so many accents.
LOL.
I hear so many accents, so many voices, so many. I'm like, yo, where are you from?
Well, it's like the hardest question ever for me to answer. I was born in London, England. I spent most of my childhood there. Raised between there, Lagos, Nigeria for like the early parts of my childhood, and Atlanta, Georgia. Wow. So between London, Lagos, and Atlanta, then eventually, like once I got to middle school, I spent some time in Abuja, Nigeria. and then I went back to Atlanta. So
wow.
yeah, those are like the three in my, just to be real, like those are the three cities that raised me, because I was bouncing in between the three of them, like 1 year here, 2 years here, 1 year,
Wow.
like, you know what I mean? So it's hard for me to answer that question sometimes, because usually people would be looking for you to like have one answer.
Yeah.
But for me, those are the three cities that raised me. Like that's who I am. That's where I'm from. Those are the places that represent me. So like I can't really just choose the one.
But that's what, and I feel like that's why your style and your sound and things that you do are so eclectic. You know, because it's like I feel like you're pulling from a lot of different. Because I was listening actually on the way here. What song was I listening to? But there, I heard like a little bit of the UK accent.
Yeah.
And then it switched right into the aggressive.
Yeah.
And then you went into like the South Side. I was like, hold on. I was like, did she just feature herself?
Yeah, I'm crying. No, but that's so crazy you say that, because that is always my intention. What ends up happening is that like, or what happened in the beginning of me making music was I would always look for features. Like I would always look for people to collaborate with. And then people would just tell me, no. Like, not really my vibe. Not really. So I was like, you know what? Oro, like, because my government name is Oro. You know what? Like, just, you're from all these different, you don't need a UK rapper to do this for you.
Yeah.
You don't need a down south rapper to do this for you. You don't need somebody from New York to do this for you. You literally lived in these places and spaces. You've experienced and been a part of the culture yourself. You can perform this in an authentic way. You don't need to like keep reaching out to people, because all of these places are part of you. So you might as well just like represent it. You know what I mean? Exactly. So like
I'm the feature.
Hello. So like in my earlier music, you can kind of tell like it sounds like I'm featuring myself. So sometimes when I'll play a song, like Code Switch, for example, kind of plays on that, where I'm rapping in both a British and like an American, like down south kind of accent. And the whole idea of it is just to like show people that I'm accepting the idea of being from all these places, versus like me just sticking to one hometown, so to speak, and limiting myself.
Yeah. And so I want to know your experience with this, because I think even like for me, like I was born in Zimbabwe and then I came to America and I had to kind of was juggling cultures, you know? So I feel like it took me a while, and even to this day, it took me a while to feel like I fit in somewhere, because I felt like a big melting pot. Whereas, you know, you could recognize like these people, these are these people. So how was that experience for you? Like, did you have trouble fitting in growing up, and did that bother you, or you felt kind of comfortable in that realm?
Yeah, like as someone that like just my personality by nature is like, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it to the max.
Yeah.
So you can imagine like me trying to fit in was me fitting into the max. Like, okay, I'm just going to shut up for 2 months, study everybody around me, study what everyone's wearing, study how everyone's talking, so that I could pop out and be just like,
and do it better than you.
And just be like them.
Yeah.
You know? And so, but when you're moving around constantly, because that's what it was, I was just bouncing around, and then like the different cities that I was moving to had completely different cultures. It made me feel very isolated at some points, because you're a kid. Like I was a kid at the time, and it was hard for me to keep up with these different identities and these different cultural expectations and things like that. So I can totally relate to the idea of like having a culture clash and like not necessarily always fitting in, but always kind of wanting to. Yeah, like definitely experienced the want. Like, and I think it wasn't until I started making music that I stopped. I wouldn't even say I stopped, because sometimes I still do want to fit in. Like there's certain genres, for example, that I really want to fit in, but it's just like, girl, you're everything, you know? And it's okay to be everything. It's okay. It's actually admirable, to be honest, to be able to assimilate and like move into these different cultural spaces and not fit in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to fit in, but you
Yeah.
can exist in those spaces and still be tolerable of those spaces and teach people in those spaces too.
Yeah.
So I think that that's something that has taken me a long time to learn, but through music, I've been learning it. But like I said, even though I feel that way, even though like I'm closer to feeling comfortable with the idea of not fitting in, there are times, like, for example, there's like Alte music, right, coming out of Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
Obsessed with Alte music at some point. And there was like this period of time where like I just wanted to fit. I just wanted to be like in the Alte space so bad that like I just really wanted it. And but then I just had to remind myself like, yo, this isn't, not that it's not me, but I can like something, I can enjoy something, and I can be in the space, right? But also be me, and also own the fact that, hey, I make different music. Like, that's not necessarily like the only genre that I'm interested in making and creating. So yeah, no, I totally get that. It's a work in progress for sure.
Yeah, and I think on the music end, that can become tough because as you start growing, you've probably had these conversations before where there's somebody telling you, hi, we need you to do this because this is going to sell to this person. So
Yeah.
like, yeah, you do that well, but let's cut that out.
Yeah.
Let's make you, what's the word? It's like there's commercial, but there's also a word for digestible.
Yeah.
Easily digest,
Yeah.
But I think it's dope that you were able to actually recognize that and then recognize the power in yourself and in your authenticity.
Thanks.
Because I think that's what draws people to you. That's what drew me to you.
Oh, thanks.
Actually, it's so crazy. So earlier on, we were talking about like how the world works. And it's so crazy that you're sitting here right now because the way that I met you, I don't know if I've told you this before, but I was just happened to be off of work that day. And I didn't know that I was off that work. I was getting ready to go to work and I looked at the schedule and I was off. And I was like, what am I going to do today? And then G, your manager or your old manager, shout out to her, she hit me up.
Shout out to G for real.
And she was like, yo, we need some extras for this music video. Like, are you available? And I was like,
What else am I gonna do?
So, I was like, okay, let's go. Like, I'm open for the adventure. And the first thing that I noticed when I walked in, because, like you're kind of shy, you're going into a new place, you're trying to see the vibe. You just welcomed me with so much love.
Thank
like,
you.
It's not even something that you can remember because, you're working.
Yeah.
But I walked in, you're all the way over there behind a white screen, right? And you look over and you're like, hey, thank you for being here. I'm like, wow. That set me, I'm like, okay, I'm happy to be here. Like, yeah, I'm here
so
now.
glad.
And then you just went back to doing your thing, but it's just like, wow, this person recognized me, this person saw me. So from then I'm like, okay, this, even if like without even hearing your music, without even knowing, I'm like, just as a person, this person is stamped,
Oh, thanks.
And actually, the crazy thing about that, to go even more full circle, that's in that day is when I met Tize, who actually ended up introducing me to Helen, which actually is this whole, Helen is how I met this whole thing. So it's crazy that going to your music video shoot sparked a whole new era in my life.
Oh, wow.
That's insane.
That is
I didn't even
so
think about
crazy.
that until right now, until you said. Going to that shoot that day sparked a whole new era of my life.
Shout out to Six.
Yeah.
That is
Nah, for real. So thank you.
That's so insane.
Thank you for that. Actually, thank you for that.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. No, that's God. Honestly, that's just God and divine intervention
right?
for real.
Man.
That's nuts.
This
Whoa.
life is so insane.
Yeah.
It's so insane. Like the way things can just piece themselves
Literally
together.
perfect timing, like divine intervention at the end of the day. Yeah.
But I also wanted to ask you, because I've noticed, speaking of like that music video, so it's so interesting, like when a lot of, I feel like female artists do things, especially like today, like female rappers, female pop stars, whatever it is, a lot of the support that can come to them can be like a derivative of lust. And something that I've noticed about you is that a lot of your support is, it seems like it comes from a place of respect. Like even in your comment section, like the guys that are in your comment, even if you're saying some crazy suggestive things or whatever, it's all like respect, you know? Why do you think that is? I have my theory and I'll let you know that, but I want to know why you think that is, or if you've even recognized that.
I have not recognized. I am so glad. Like I'm choosing so hard because that's all I work for. Like I sometimes like, how do I say this? I've never seen myself to be, and this is me like being real. Like I've never seen myself to be a super like sexy person, right? And so I actually remember the first time someone had ever called me sexy, and I was so like, I was like, are they talking about me? Like that, literally, I was so like confused. So with that being said, it's been, not that it's been a struggle of some sorts, but like, it's kind of like when, there's this book called like the summer that I became beautiful, right? When you kind of like walk around, you know, like especially being like a dark-skinned woman, growing up a dark-skinned woman, or girl rather, you're kind of like overlooked in many ways. You're not really hypersexualized. You're just kind of like, you're kind of used to being like in the shadows and like not being paid attention to, or not really being desired, or whatever the case may be. So then because of that, you look for other ways to garner respect and attention, to be honest. And I feel like my whole life, because I've known that no one is looking, or felt that no one is looking at me as like this sex symbol, or like this super like fine shit, or whatever the fuck. I've just focused so much on being like super smart, or like super like, you know, funny, or super interesting. Like that's what I've focused on. So it feels really good to feel like, like it feels really good to know that that is what people see me for, or like it feels good to know like that's where the feedback is coming from, is not focusing on things that are unimportant, or focusing on things that are just not me, to be honest, and getting the feedback on parts of me that I actually work really hard to be. So I appreciate, I didn't even know that.
That actually makes sense, because I feel like that coincides with my theory. Because my theory, the reason that I feel like you are respected, even if you're doing something super sexy, the reception is still respect. I think it's because of your attentiveness to detail and the level of your execution every single time.
Thank
like
you.
Six does not just post. You don't just post just to post. If she's putting something up there, you know this is about to be 10, even if it's 10 seconds, 15 seconds, but the execution is always on point. Yeah, and I feel like you have to respect that, you know?
Thank
you. Have
you.
to respect that all around. And the bars.
Thank you.
The bars are hit it, but I think over that, I feel like the level of execution, and it's interesting to me, right? Because you like do numbers, you know, like you do numbers on social media, you like stream really well, you execute at a very high level. And I've always wanted to ask you, at this point, you've probably been approached by labels. And if not approached by labels, you can probably, you yourself go and like pitch yourself to labels. Why have or have not you kind of made that move? Like what is with your choice to stay an independent artist?
Well, first of all, shout out to Max. Like Max is my manager, and I've been working with him for the past year. a lot of what you guys see now has been in collaboration with him. He has this company called Also Digital, which is like essentially it helps artists create a genuine fan base and get them that exposure and get them that like get people to give a fuck. Like, you know what I mean? And I think prior to working with Max, I think I had enough people that cared, but I didn't have enough people that gave a fuck. Like that really were like invested in my music and like also in the trajectory of my career. Like in my comment sections and every day almost I'm getting a message about like, yo, I can't wait for you to like get to these heights. Like I'm really excited for the next thing that you have coming. And that wasn't the way it was. Sometimes I would get comments like, oh, this is dope, but like it would never go further than that. So Max has definitely done a good job at finding people, or I guess helping people find me and making them want to stay.
Yeah.
Because you can have these ideas, but then if you don't like have a way, if you don't have like a reason for them, or if you don't have a purpose for these ideas or these posts, then you're just posting, you know what I mean? Or you're just creating, which is not a bad thing if that's what you want to do, but that's not my goal, right? Goal. So that's that. As far as like why I haven't taken that next step is because, to be fair, I work a full-time job. Unfortunately, it's not the job that it's not my forever job. And I just mentally made that decision this year that, you know, that I'm actually going full throttle into making music my life work, you know? And so when you're working, I don't know, 40 hours a week, and the type of job that I do, I'm an ICU nurse, it's like, it's very heavy mentally and physically. And so you don't really I have about 2 days out of the week to dedicate to music and content and all of the things, right? So I can't really do it to like the fullest extent. Like I'm doing a good job. I know I am. Like, thank you. I know I'm doing a good enough job, but like I know I can be way better. Like Timothée Chalamet's recent at the SAG Awards, where his speech where he's like, I want to be the greatest. Like I look up to, like, these are the people who I look up to. Like that's what I want to aspire to be. That's how I feel. Like I look up to Beyonce. I look up to David Beckham. I look up to Mbappe. I look up to Kobe Bryant. Like I look up to Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson. These are like the greats. And one thing they all had in common is that they had all 24 hours of their day to spend on dedicating it to their passion. And I'm not there yet. And until I can get into a situation that will allow me to do that, then I might as well just continue to grind, you know, the grind the way that I have until I can get to that point. Because there might be some conversations and whatever the case may be. But one, I want someone who's going to work as hard as I do and work as hard as Max does, you know, to take us to where we need to be. And then on top of that, it's like, I don't know, money talks, man. Like I got bills to pay. I would really love to be, because at the end of the day, for me, it's never been about like riding around in the most expensive cars and the most expensive clothes or whatever the case may be. I just want to be able to create freely and not have to think about like basic living, like basic needs. Live through your gifts. I want to live literally. And so until I can get to that point, like, you know, until that opportunity comes, which it will come, I believe it will, because God, you know, I believe in a faithful and honest God. I think until that time comes, I'm like okay with just like, I'm not okay with where I'm at, but I'm just gonna continue to grind until that opportunity comes my way.
And I think people needed to hear you say that, because I think I feel like today a lot of creatives get a little bit lazy with the tools are so handy that they can get a little bit lazy with it, you know, and not realize the work that they're not putting in. Because I want to like iterate that. You said you work as a ICU nurse.
Yeah.
And you still have the energy level. And you still have the dedication to execute at such a high level. Whether it's sonically, the way that you're writing, your visuals, like how they come out, they're always at a high level. Where's that energy coming from?
I want it really bad. Like, I want it really, 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 really bad. I love making music. I love performing. Above all else, I love performing. Like, so bad. And when you want something so bad, like, there's nothing that's going to stop you from getting it. Like, I was talking to my therapist the other day because I told her that, you know, another thing that I kind of struggle with is that I'm really hard on myself. I'm not nice to myself sometimes, because I'm like, why can't you just, or like, you just need to do this, or you're not doing this, or you're not where you're supposed to be. And all of these things, like, I have these little voices in my head that are always kind of like nagging me to be better and do better. And it gets to me because, like, it sucks when you're your worst critic, you know, because you don't really have any space of, like, imagine in your head, your brain is your biggest bully. And, like, that means you have nowhere to run to. Like, you don't have any space of, like, peace or freedom, or, like, you don't have anything. So I was explaining that to her, and she helped me find... I'm dead.
Your brain is your biggest bully.
Your brain is your biggest bully. Like, I'll look in the mirror and it's just like, you're not doing this, and why are you doing this? Or, like, if I'm sitting on the couch chilling, like, why are you chilling? Like, what is chilling gonna do for you? Like, you have shit to do. Literally, that's how, like, I unfortunately talk to myself. And we ended up finding the root of it, and a lot of it is just like, I just want it really, really, really bad. So when I'm not working, when I'm not doing it, when I'm not there, it feels like I'm wasting time, or it feels, I don't know, I feel so anxious because I just want it so bad. And she let me know that, you know, the compulsion is not going to go away if you want to be one of the greats. If I'm going to compare myself to the Michael Jacksons and the Beyoncés and etc., like, the one thing about it is that they're all compulsive. Also,
the fact that you said that to your therapist, I know that you're serious. Like, the fact that you told your therapist, Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, Beyonce, and that she's like, okay, this girl's serious enough that I'm gonna say that to her back. Yeah, you're not.
I'm so serious because, like, at first, you know, because I was trying to shy away from it at first when she asked me, like, she's like, so what's your idea of success? Like, maybe we have to. You know, she was like trying to fix that about me. And I'm like, no. I don't want to fix it. Like, I need it. I just need you to help me, like, not feel so bad about it. Like, like, how am I gonna, I need this. Like,
you're not changing that part.
I can't change that part. I need that bully in me to continue to thrive because I know what it's done for me. Like, I know where it's taken me. Anything that I put my mind to, I achieve it. It might take a lot longer than, like, I might think it'll take, or whatever the case may be. But anything I put my mind to, I achieve it. And yeah, no, I it just, that's just it. I don't know. Sometimes it's just in you. And I think that's one of the things that's just in me, regardless of what job I would have had, regardless of, like, whether I had children, whether I didn't, like, whatever the situation on this world, whatever God wants to throw at me, or the universe wants to throw at me, I know that I want it, and so I will get it. And that was what we ended up in the session. And she was like, find a mantra for yourself. She was like, is there anything that you've ever wanted that you didn't get? And I'm like, no. And she's like, well, that's your mantra. Like, I'm always going to get it. And so no matter how I feel that day, no matter if I feel lazy, no matter if I feel, you know, unmotivated, at the end of the day, I know that my mantra is I'm going to get it regardless. So, yeah.
I love that.
For sure.
That's amazing. That's real.
It is,
that's
man.
Very real.
It really is.
Wow. I feel stronger.
That's my life. I don't think y'all understand. That's my life.
But I want to get into, so I have a segment, right? Mm-hmm. This is our last segment. It's called Rapid Fire Questions.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you 10 questions.
Oh, God. Okay.
About 10 questions.
Okay.
And you just have to answer what are the first
The
answer.
first thing. Oh, okay. Okay.
That.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so at age 8, what was your dream?
Star. I wanted to be a star.
A star.
Yeah.
Okay. Atlanta slang or UK slang?
Atlanta slang.
Atlanta slang?
Yeah.
Okay. Atlanta slang or Nigerian slang?
Nigerian slang.
That was quick. That was with the quickness. Okay. Do you remember your first bar you ever wrote?
Yeah. But my name is Lady Kiss, and I know I don't take no shit. I'm a lady in the street, best bow my feet, and you best not give me shit. Psych, his demonstration. I'm a hottest MC sensation. I'm God's #1 creation. I be spitting in all the nations. What? United Nation, that is. Nobody else can spit like this. Something, something, something. I wrote that when I was like
That was your first bar?
10. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I'll never forget that. Because all the stupid boys on the bus, they were like, oh, yeah, whatever. They brushed past it. So that was like the first. Yeah.
You was spitting at 10.
I was spitting. That's a whole other story. Literally.
Okay. So if your life was a cartoon, what would it look like?
If my life was a cartoon, it would have to be like one of those old Nickelodeon cartoons. Ugh, I can't think of it right now. If my life was a cartoon, what would it look like? Like Nickelodeon, oh no, that's Cartoon Network. No, not Nickelodeon. Like all those Cartoon Network cartoons, like Dexter and Dee Dee, and like that's what it would look like.
That's lit.
Yeah.
I can see that. Okay, would you rather, or what's a weird talent or skill that you have outside of music? It doesn't have to be weird. Just what's something you're good at besides music?
Creative direction, I think.
Creative direction. I can see that.
That's like, yeah, that's all encompassing. That's not really like a weird talent. I don't know. Graphic design, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But creative direction, I can see that.
Yeah.
The way your visuals come out. Okay, so would you rather sell out a show in London, Lagos, or Atlanta first? First, like
my first big
stadium,
show?
Headline, sold out. What city is it?
Atlanta.
Atlanta?
Yeah.
Oh, why?
Because I love Atlanta and people in Atlanta love me. Like, Atlanta is like... Atlanta to me is like home. Like, it's where I was the most I can't say that. That's not true. I don't know. It's just something about Atlanta. The energy would be like unmatched. Yeah. Atlanta is like the melting pot of everybody. Like, I know so many people that I knew from the UK that moved to Atlanta. I know so many people from Nigeria that I knew from Nigeria moved to Atlanta. And then there's my Atlanta people. Like, yeah, Atlanta would have to be it for sure.
Huh. Okay. And then Afrobeats, R&B, or trap?
Afrobeats. Yeah. Can't stand trap music. God.
You're out of there. Nah, five. Well, 6. Also, I actually want to say for the people, my favorite song by you is Little Bit.
Really?
But now, what's the one that you just sent? What's it? Brett. Brett. What's it? Brett. Drop it soon.
Coming soon.
But that's out Little Bit. I don't know what it is. You like tapped into some frequency there.
Really?
So yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Anything coming soon? Anything you want to shout out?
Yeah, so I do have a song called Sixsaidit that's going to be coming out pretty soon. Yeah, it's produced by Narte. It's a super dope song. I don't know, it's fun. It reminds me of like fighting and Nuck If You Buck and all that kind of stuff. So it's exciting.
All right. Well, Sixsaidit coming soon. We'll link it all in the description, all that. This is Sixsaidit. Give them your Instagram. Give them your
you can
everything.
Find me at Sixsaidit literally everywhere. Sixsaidit. That's my artist name. That's my Instagram name, Twitter name, TikTok, all of that.
Yes, sir. Make sure y'all like and subscribe. Follow her. At us at Altevrse. Thank you for joining us for another episode. We out.
That was so good. That was such a good conversation, Heaven. I'm so excited for you.
Huh?
Yeah, the question from the last guest.
Oh.
You want to do that real quick?
Oh wait, there's
course.
just, like the last.
Oh yeah.
guess
6.
fire.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, that's dope.
Are we still rolling? We're still rolling, right? Okay, nice.
Okay.
All cameras are live.
Okay, 6.
Yes.
So I have this thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to leave a question for the next guest.
Okay.
And
You have to ask her.
oh my goodness. Wait, Josh.
Question?
Do you have the question?
I know it.
Yes.
What is your responsibility to this world?
Ah.
Boom. Shout out to Josh. Boom. So what do you feel like your responsibility to this world is?
Letting everyone know how to reach their fullest potential. Yeah, actually, I do think that. I feel like everybody that I encounter, I try to show them how they can maximize their potential. Like, it can't be potential anymore. Like, let's actually make it a reality. Yeah. And then I think that's just with people that I interact with. And then aside from people that I interact with, like if there's people that I don't interact with, I want them to be inspired enough by like my story and my trajectory to do the same for themselves.
I think you just did that here today.
Really?
But
No
also
way.
you did that here today because you brought me here.
Yeah,
So,
that's
you know what I'm
so crazy.
And then I want you to leave a question for the next guest.
Okay. What space makes you feel the happiest? And what are you doing to have that feeling continue?
We love that.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Sixsaidit. We out of here. Altevrse. Love y'all. Peace.
You wanna hear the sound from above?